So I'll start this session. So what you will learn. So this is number one is you will learn how to communicate data effectively, because you might be having a lot of data, you might be having a dashboard, but how to present it is very important, right? And developing the HR dashboard, that is predominantly very important. So I hope everyone is from HR background, right?
Yeah.
All right. So first is, what is data visualization? It is a graphical representation of data and information. So you can see this is my table on the left hand side, and the right hand side is a column chart. Both are the way of visualizing a data. So it's not like this is not my visualization. This is my table visualization, you can say. And there is a different way of representing a data. For example, in left hand side, you can see I have 5 columns. So this is like a table, or you can say metrics, and we have gender, age, hire date, status, and department. And on the right hand side, I can see the average age by department. So you can see there are 3 departments like back office, IT, R&D, and I can see what is my average age of all the employees which are in those departments. If you want to do these kind of KPIs or metrics, it's very important to understand how you will use the formulas. For example, if you have to create this average, you need to put in the formula in Excel or Power BI, wherever you're working on, right? So this is where our knowledge of tools come in. Otherwise, you will have a simple structured data, and then if we have to ask like what is the average or sum, you can't do it without the formula, right? So this is where we have to use these tools. So why do we want data visualization? So we have the visualization. Now that you have prepared this visualization, what's the purpose of it? So first is better comprehension. So if you just imagine you have a document, PDF document, and there is another document which has visualization. One is with text, one is with visuals. Definitely, in a glimpse, you will understand using the visuals, because that resonates more with your brain, right? Your brain is more creative, it understands visuals, diagrams, it will remain in your brain for longer time rather than just looking on text. For example, this page, I'm sure you won't remember everything from this page because this is all text. But if we go to some other page where we have diagrams like we saw here, you will remember there were 3 columns, back office, IT, R&D, numbers were 36, 22, 32. You might remember this somewhere around, right? So it's very important to understand how we are using visuals and why we are using visuals, right? Second is improved decision making. Of course, if you have a dashboard, you can generate some insights. You can say, there are 3 departments, there are 5 employees in each department, average salary is this, attrition is this, my attrition percentage is this. So you can do all those matrices using visualization, right? Third is communication. So now that you have the dashboard, you can communicate with your stakeholders. So you have your board members, you want to explain to your HR head that this is what the picture is all about. This month we have 8% of attrition, last month it was this. So on a month to month basis, this year my attrition percentage is this for the company. So you can communicate using the visuals. And similarly, you can identify the patterns if you have the dashboard. Now it is important to understand the principles. So when we say that we are creating the visualization, it can't be anything, right? It should not be random, it should be well planned, it should be strategic, right? And when we create some visuals, there are some principles. Number one is clarity. So if you see the left hand side and the right hand side, if you see this cluttered diagram, you will see you can't understand anything, right? So there are some predominantly colored boxes and you can't understand what it is. And on the right hand side, you can see number of restaurants in each type. You can see delivery is somewhere around 4,000, dine out is somewhere around 3,000, dessert somewhere around 500. You can see the picture, you can get something out of it, right? Just don't go out with the colors. This is a bad representation when you're doing all the colors in one visual. Maybe just one color or maximum 2 colors. Yeah. So you can't have all the colors, but it is giving the picture. You can clarity, there is a clarity, right? So you can see different types and number of restaurants in each type. So this is number one principle, and you should always, whenever you're creating the dashboard, so what I'll do is I'll share this presentation if Wilma has not shared. You should always write these principles whenever you're creating a dashboard. and refer to it all the time. That number one is clarity. Number two, accuracy. So you can create beautiful of dashboards, right? Beautiful dashboard, but if it is not accurate, it is not at all useful, and it won't be nice for you. For example, if you are representing a particular dashboard to your HR head and you are explaining with inaccurate data, that's a blunder, right? So we have to make sure that the data is accurate, right? If you see this particular chart and the below chart, you will see both look similar, right? But there is a difference. So if you see R&D, average age is 32, and in the below one, R&D average age is 39. And if you see in this data set, I have 5 records right now, and if you see, there are 3 records with R&D, row 1, row 3, and row 4. And if you see age, 34, 26, 35. And if you want to manually take the average, it will be 34 plus 26 plus 35 divided by 3, right? So this is how we do average. And if you see, the average should come around, that is 32. And this is accurate, and here it is inaccurate. So whenever you create a dashboard, just try to do manual calculations with the database so that you can see if you're doing is correct or not. Whatever you have done is right or wrong. So you always do reverse engineering. So when you create the dashboard and see, hey, does it look good? Like, is it 32 or 39? Just calculate using your Excel or calculator, whatever, and just do a back calculation and see if it is correct. If it is correct, that's amazing. If it is not, then see what is the root cause analysis that we do, right? So principle number 2, accuracy, very important. Third number is consistency. So when you're working on visualization, creating dashboards, definitely if you see the left hand side and right hand side, definitely you will say the second one looks outstanding, and you would like to see, you would like to understand more about it, right? Because this is consistent with colors, with all the fonts, with everything. It looks beautiful. The left hand side, you will see there is no concept. One bar is green, one bar is red, one bar is purple. It is not making sense at all. Generally, we use green and red when we have to show the positive numbers and negative numbers. Otherwise, try to avoid green and red colors. Whenever you're creating a dashboard, green means it is a positive number, red means negative number. If you have to use some colors, use different colors, maybe yellow, oranges, but don't use so many colors. As you can see here, one is yellow, then mustard, orange, red, and whatnot, right? But here you might say in the right hand side there are multiple colors as well, orange, yellow, somewhat green, and all those things, but it looks beautiful. So I'll show you the color palette. There is a website, beautiful website on hex colors, where you can use the different colors which complement each other. And whenever you're creating a dashboard, you have to use those colors so that it looks beautiful, professional, right? Because we are not creating some hobby kind of dashboard that is for your home consumption, that you can use any colors. It is professional, right? So if you're working for X company and it has a theme of, let's say, blue color, or so you should create something which resonates with your company's brand colors, right? So I'll explain you everything once we are working on Power BI reporting. So now let's go to the next principle. Fourth is simplicity. Just think about the end user. Whenever you're creating a dashboard, your end user might not be tech savvy. For example, HR head or maybe the stakeholders, they are really good with businesses, but they might not be really good with dashboards or technology or the tools and all stuff. So whenever you are preparing a dashboard, it should be simple, straightforward. It should show the values. That's it. It should not be complicated. So for example, if you see the left hand side, this chart is not making sense right now. Maybe it is good if someone is expert and who has created, he might understand what it is, but someone who is viewing this dashboard might not be able to understand at one glance, right? Similarly, this one. But maybe if you do commentary, maybe you just write the text, hey, this is what it means, then it will be easier. But right hand side, you can see there are some data cards. You can see gross sales is this, sales price is this. It's so straightforward. Numbers are there. I can easily see what it is, right? So similarly in HR dashboards, you want to see number of employees, number of departments, attrition percentages, then what is my average salary for the company. Then if you want to see promotions of each employee, how many years it has been. So you can do all those numbers and create the charts, and it will be so good, but it should be simple, right? So this is fourth principle. So predominantly, there are four principles. If you go back: clarity, accuracy, consistency, and simplicity. So whenever, just write these four words whenever you're working on your dashboard, and just refer to this. Am I following these four principles? If not, then just reiterate and just work on it again and again, because otherwise later on it will be difficult for you. Any questions so far? This is just theory. All right, so let's start with understanding the visuals. This is very important part whenever you're working on Power BI or any BI tool for that matter. You should know the meaning of line charts, donut charts, pie charts. There are so many visuals, metric charts, slicers, regional maps. So first of all, what is line chart? So whenever you see there is a pattern, line chart. So we are going from January, it was 100 sales, then it went to 120 in February. In March, it was somewhere around 110 or something. Then it went up, then it went down. So there is a trend, right? So every month there is an increase or decrease of value. So the orange line shows this is my sales, and yellow line shows its expense, right? So whenever we are doing time series forecasting or analysis, it's very important that we use line charts, right? So it's not like randomly we are using any chart for any analysis. It is very important for us to understand if we are representing a series of data points. So we have data points on a month to month basis or quarter basis or yearly basis. Predominantly, if it is a time series, then we are using line chart. And you can see it makes sense, right? So if you want to see the pattern of sales or expenses, if it is increasing, decreasing, what is a pattern? For example, if you do stock market analysis, you always see how the price of the share price is going up or down. It is mostly line chart, or you can say candlestick if you're doing technical analysis, right? So it is very important for us to understand the visuals we are using for a particular analysis. Now coming to donut chart, it is similar to pie chart. So you have always seen the pie chart. Pie chart shows 100%, total is 100%, and out of it there are some chunks. Like when we do the analogy with the pizza, so pizza is 100%, and then if we make six slices, so each slice is 100 divided by 6 percentage, right? So this is what it shows. But donut chart, it is simple, same as pie chart, but there is a hole in between to resemble as a donut. That's why the name of this chart is donut chart, right? It is used predominantly to show the proportion. So when we say, for example, you can see here, Power BI contribution is 36% in overall market. Tableau is somewhere around 20%. Sense is 11%, and others are 33%. So it shows perfectly, if you want to show 100% out of 100%, how many people are in R&D, for example. So let's say it is 20%. So you can say 20% R&D, 10% HR department, others in some other department. So you can easily use donut chart in this. You can't use line chart, right? Line chart is used for time series. So this is where we have to understand which chart is used for which. Pie chart is same. As I explained, there is no hole in between, but general rule, don't use pie chart ever. I never use it. It's been years. I never use pie chart. It's just there. So I'm explaining here, but pie charts are not professional at all. This is one of the most important visual when we work on Power BI, metric chart. So metric chart is like a pivot. So when we work on Excel, we create a pivot, right? So in various departments, how many employees are there? What is the average salary? And what is the, you can say the promotional year and all those stuff. So it is very important to work on metric chart. And this is what we will mostly focus on when we will work on Power BI tomorrow, right? So when we have when we want to show the relation between two or more variables in a data set, metrics chart can be used. It is mainly made up of columns as well as rows, as we see on the pivot, right? And then we will talk about the slicer chart. It is like a filter. So for example, you created a chart, or you can say created a dashboard, and now you want to filter for a particular month. Let's say you want to filter for February. So you will have a slicer and just click on February drop down, and then all the data will change for February. So that's a slicer. So slicer is mostly like a filter, and it's there in Excel as well as Power BI, right? So here you can see example is you can multi-select states. For example, for Pan India, you have the data, but then you want to see only for Andhra Pradesh and Goa. So you'll select Andhra Pradesh and Goa, and all the data will change only for this, right? So this is the importance of slicer charts. Regional maps are simple. It's just a map where you can show your wherever you are present, how many employees are there. You can change the size of the bubbles on the base of number of employees. You can change the colors on the base of states or regions, all those stuff. We will work on this as well. This is quite interesting. Then these are really important. Bar charts, combo charts, almost all the time you will use these charts. Bar charts is like you can see if you want to plot numerical values for level of categorical feature. So on the left hand side, on the y-axis, you have category. Category is non-numerical. It's like text. So you can say country, you can say category, product category, or geography, whatever you want to explain. That can go in y-axis. X-axis is number that will be represented for each country. For example, India, you can divide into two, for example, population as well as GDP. So you can say India population is this much, GDP is this much. Same for USA. So you can represent these KPIs in using bar charts. It is very important. We will work on this as well. Very important, very easy, very good. Combo charts are like you can say buildings. So it's not like x-axis, it will go y-axis. That's why we call column charts. But this is combo chart because we are using two column charts, right? So for each month, if you want to say what is my total sales, what is the total expense, you can have both the things in one axis, right? So that's the beauty of combo charts. And again, it is drag and drop in Power BI. You don't have to be a coder, you don't have to be technically expert. Very easy. But there are majorly very important concepts like data modeling and all those things that we will be explaining. Area chart is similar to line chart. So as we saw here, so line chart, below line, there will be area highlighted. That's predominantly area chart. That's it. There is no difference. So you can see this orange line. Below orange line, I am highlighting everything. Below green line, I am highlighting everything with green. So this is kind of showing me the area, and it emphasizes the magnitude. So you can see the third bullet, area chart emphasize the magnitude of the change over time. So you can see the bigger is the area, bigger is the magnitude, right? So last three visuals: scatter plot, funnel chart, God chart. From out of these three, scatter plot is very important. So when we have to do some correlation, there are two metrics. For example, if you want to see on the basis of experience of the employees, does the performance increase? Or on the basis of performance rating, does their salary increase or decrease? On the basis of their performance rating, do they still stay in the company or not? So these are like correlation metrics, right? So x-axis would be performance rating, y-axis would be a number of years they are in the company or something. So you can do using scatter plot. It is very straightforward. You just need to drag and drop your two values and you can see the relation between them, and you can easily understand what's happening. Funnel chart is mostly like when we work on B2B marketing, you want to say my first stage is awareness. Out of them, let's say 100 people come on my website. Out of 100, 50 people go to particular page. Out of 50 people, 20 people go to my product page. Out of 20 people, 5 people go to add to cart. Out of 5, actually one person purchases the product, right? So it is like a funnel chart you can create. This is not widely used in HR, but if you are in e-commerce or something, funnel chart can be useful. And God chart is mostly like it is known as speedometer as written here. So it is predominantly known for target versus achievement. So when we are working on sales figures and all, so for a salesman, if it is target of let's say 100K and he has achieved let's say 40% of it, so the needle will show 40% is achieved out of 100%. So that's like a tracker. That's it. Not much, but it's not widely used. But I'll explain that as well. Any questions?
Yeah. Hi.
Yes.
I just recommend in case of the funnel chart in HR, we can use it for the yield ratio, right? We can use in case of yield ratio, we can use the funnel chart, I think, right?
Can you explain it more about it?
For example, yeah, so yield ratio, for example, so there is each phase, like for example, the number of applicants vis-a-vis the number of the CVs being screened out. The
Yes.
second phase is number of CVs screened out vis-a-vis the number of people called for the first level of interview. So third, the number of people who are selected from first interview vis-a-vis the number of people who went to the final. So there is that yield ratio that's being used. I think for that, I think the funnel chart, I think it makes
Yes.
sense.
Amazing use case, Divya. Like, I totally agree with you. For that aspect, this will be a perfect chart. Yes. So maybe if we have the data set, we can try this actually, because that will be very useful for everyone. That's great. All right. So now we will quickly skim through the overview part, and then we'll jump to Excel and all those things. That's why you guys are here for sure. Right? So HR analytics is use of data and analytics to understand and improve various aspects of human resources management. So when we say HR analytics, it is like using data to improvise our various day-to-day things in HR management, right? So it can be used in recruitment and retention. So in recruitment, as um, we were talking about the funnel chart, right? So we can use that. So it can be used to identify the most effective recruitment channels and methods. Then there is a management, employee engagement. So we can do surveying data. We can analyze the data that we have got from the people. We can do sentiment analysis, but that's typically advanced. Then we can do diversity and inclusion, learning and development, compensation and benefits. So these are some of the aspects or metrics we can say that we can use in Excel or Power BI to do some kind of analysis and show how it's done. So any questions or anything anyone wants to highlight on this part? So these are 7 commonly used KPIs. Let me know if you use something else. We can talk about that as well. First is employee turnover ratio. Second is time to fill. Third is employee engagement score. Fourth, diversity and inclusion metrics. Fifth, training and development metrics. Sixth, performance metrics. Seventh, compensation metrics. Right. So these are some KPIs. For example, employee turnover ratio. It can measure the rate at which employees are leaving the organization. So we will have the data set of all the employees, and then we will have the date of resignation of all the employees. If they are still in the system, the value will be blank, right? So date of resignation for them would be blank. So predominantly we will have the data for all the employees who are active as well as inactive, and then we can calculate the ratio, and then that will be the employee turnover rate. Time to fill is like when you start your recruitment process, and how much time does it take to finally recruit someone, and what are the strategies you are applying. You can apply 5 different strategies and track the performance of each strategy, so that you can apply the best performing strategy for the later users, right? So these are some of the KPIs. Any questions? Awesome. So I think this is the most important point. We will do some practical things. And this is a Microsoft Excel exercise. We will be focusing on pivot tables, pivot charts, and all those things. And if you have any questions in between, you can practice side by side. It should be interactive. Currently, great. So I would say today I'll focus on Excel as well as Power Query. And trust me when I say Power Query is very important for any data analyst, for anyone who is in HR working as a HR analyst, want to work on data. When we have mostly our data in Excel, Power Query is very important, and it is there in the field from more than 10 years. I think it was launched in 2011, Power Query, and it is somewhere around 14 years, right? And many people don't know about Power Query. It exists and it is there in Excel. So I'll explain you how it is used, and it is a magical tool, right? So let's go to Excel. You can see the screen.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I think you guys have this Excel sheet with you.
Yes.
So you can open your Excel on your laptop,
Sure.
and whatever we do, you can practice. I can wait, I can pause somewhere, I can be fast, I can be slow. Just let me know what you want, right? Because I really want at the end of the session, everyone understands how we can use or leverage Excel as well as Power Query, right? 5 minutes, I'll talk about data set, what is the interface of Excel, where we will find Power Query, all those things, so that if someone doesn't know at all about Excel, can know about it, right? So predominantly, if you see on the top, this is my ribbon, right? So we call Excel ribbon, where we have various tabs like file. So here you can go to settings, or you can just see what kind of settings you want to enable, disable, but you don't have to worry about it right now, right? Then we have home, where you have all these options, like you want to make it change the font size, you want to change the alignment, numbers, conditional formatting, all those things, inserting, delete, all those things we have over here. Then this is the insert tab, where you can add the pivot table. So you can see here, so once we have the data selected, we can click on pivot table and we can easily jump in towards the pivot, right? Then we have various pictures, shapes. We don't need to work on this much. This is a new feature that was launched this year, checkbox. So for example, if you want to work on particular listing, so list, so you want to say item 1. So you want to say if it is done or not. So you just click on checkbox, and you can just copy this. And if you want to just say that, hey, this is done, this is done, this is done. So this is what is launched this year. It was not there before this, right? So next is recommended charts. So once you have the pivot tables created, you can create various charts. So if you click here, there is no chart or suggestions, because currently I have selected this cell and this cell is empty, right? So there is no suggestions from the Excel, because nothing can be created, right, on the blank Excel, blank cell. So these are some charts, then line, columns, spark lines, and then we have slices, as we were discussing. So this is like a filter that you can apply on the page. Then timeline. So this is used as a time series. You can create 2003, 2004, then subdivide in quarter, further subdivide in months or weeks, depending on your requirements. And then we have header, footers, and all so and so forth. This is great. And then page layout is mostly like if you want to change the margins. So if you want to do print of this page, and you want to change the alignment and all those things, orientation and all, you can do from here, right? Then formulas, it is very important. This tab is very important, and many of the people don't use defined names, and this is very important. For example, manager, you will be finding there. Now let me explain you one use case of it, very important use case. So let's say you create a table name. Let's say first you say employee ID, then say employee name, then say location, and let's say um, performance rating, right? Employee 1, name A, location Delhi, performance rating 3, employee ID 2, employee name B, location Mumbai, and rating, let's say 4. So now that you have this table, right, how do you predominantly work on this? So generally people, what they do is, for example, just select the data that they want to work on pivot, then click on pivot table, straightforward. This is not right. Actually, whenever you're working on tables or in Excel, you have to convert them into table. How? So this is my data, right? So click on this, or shortcut key is Control plus T. So on the keyboard, click on Control plus T. This will say, where is my data for the table? A1 to D3, which is perfect. And my table has headers. This is selected, which is correct. I'll click on OK. Now this will be converted into table, and table name currently is table 2. I can define this as, let's say, dummy table, to be on a site. Now, if you go here and if you see this icon, click here, you will see all the options, all the tables that you already have in this particular complete Excel workbook, right? If you click on dummy table, you will be redirected back to that table, right? And tomorrow, if you add new rows here, so if you want to add new rows here, this table will be extended, right? So this is my complete table. Now you add new records, it will automatically be converted in that table itself. So if I go here, I want to go towards that table, dummy table, I'll just select and it will be redirected to this table. Any questions on this, or everyone knows about it? Because this is very important concept and many people don't work on this. And I'll tell you why this is important when we are working on Power Query. Everything will connect. And
Yeah.
yeah. All right. So let's go back. So remaining things are predominantly, no, this is not for us. This is not, you won't find solver reporting or automate in your tabs because this is something else which I'm working on. So, and table design is something where you can change the colors and how you want to show your tables and all these things, right? So predominantly this is about the ribbon. And let me explain the data with you. So we have, once I select, and below you can see the count 34. So we have total 34 columns in this table, right? Employee number, then attrition, if it is a yes or no, then business travel, it is a travel frequently, rarely, or there's no travel, which department it is, education field, gender, male or female, job role, marital status, overtime, yes or no, training times last year, age, daily rate, distance from home, employee education, employee count, all those things, right? So we have these data with us, and let's try to work on some data points. First of all, let's work on attrition. You guys have already created this table. So if you go here, you should have this HR data with you. Or you guys are not working with me and just watching this.
No, we were just watching this, so
Okay.
possibly.
So what we'll
Let
do
us
is
download
click
it
on
first.
insert, click on pivot table, and it is saying table range is HR data, which is absolutely correct. HR data will select everything in this. And I want to go to new worksheet for this pivot table. So new worksheet, click OK. And now this is my pivot area. So this is where I'll drag and drop from my existing data set. So there are 4 fields, predominantly filters, rows, values, and columns. So rows will have all those areas. For example, we want to see for department wise, let's say I want to see the salary or income is there, I guess. Yeah, monthly income. So what I'll do is, currently you can see for each department, this is my monthly income. Anyone can tell me if this is correct or incorrect or what it is all about. What is this telling me? If HR is showing me 419234, what is this?
The total of the monthly income.
Can you please?
Total of the monthly income. Sum.
So what it is showing
Department-wise
is
monthly
Some
income.
department wise.
yes. So if I filter here with HR, so if I control shift L and I select HR department, right? And if I go to monthly income, this one, and select all and see this 419234. So sum of all the monthly income, sum of all the monthly incomes of for that particular department, 419234. If you see here, sorry, sheet 4, 419234. But this is not making sense because there may be multiple employees. It can have 10 employees, R&D can have 20 employees, all so and so forth. We want the average monthly income so that we can understand what is the average monthly income for the employees in each department. How we can do that? There are 2 ways. One is, so here we have values here, right? You can click here, click on value field settings, and from here select average and click OK. So this will give me monthly average income for each department. HR is 6655, 62814 for R&D, sales is 6951, 5993 for sales one, so on and so forth. And from here, I can have, if I click on insert, I can create a chart. So if I click on, let's say here, if I want to make like this or this, I can see for each department, total sales, sorry, total average monthly income. I can add the data labels as well. If I click here, so it can show me labels. I can delete this, or I can hide all field buttons, and I can remove this to make it more clear. I don't need legends, so I can remove from here. And I can change this. I can say department wise average monthly income. So this is your first chart that we have created using the pivot table. So this is pivot table. This is called as pivot chart. Any questions so far? And here we have various options of editing. You can go on plus sign. You can add the axis if you want to, or from here you can change the style of how you want to show the chart. For example, if you want to show like this or like this or like this, there are so many options. Change the color as well from colorful to monochromatic, or you can change to anything else as well, right? So now, if you say what is the purpose of columns, so in columns we can add gender, for example. So we can see the same monthly average income for male as well as female. So when I dragged gender in columns, you can see here for female as well as male, I can see the average monthly income. So for sales one, male is blank. Maybe there is no one in sales one department who is male, right? So this is how you can see. And any questions on this? And we can change the sheet name, average monthly income, right? And if I go back to base and do it again, click on insert pivot table and again the new worksheet and press OK. This time I want to have attrition calculation. So again, I'll go here. So this time I can say job role in rows, and I want attrition. So attrition is yes or no, right? And I want total employees. So employee, I have employee number. So we can have employee count because that's the count of it. So you can see total employees are 1470. Out of 1470, the attrition is for 237. So out of 1470, 237 employees resigned. And out of 237, highest is for sales executive, 57. And if you want to change these numbers into percentages, just right click, click on value field settings and show value as, and here you can click on percentage of row total and press OK. And this will change all the percentages. And if you want to remove grand total, if you think this doesn't make sense, I can go to, I think, view. It is pivot table. Yeah. So in design, click on grand totals. So I just want on for rows. So I can, sorry, I can just delete all, off on both. So this is how you can have just the numbers for each job role. Yes and no. Any questions on this?
Can you please repeat this step, deleting the grand total?
Okay. So I'll just get back everything. So this is how it was. and we were at home page, or you can say in insert. And then if you want to delete the grand total from the column or from the, this is called as column, this is called rows. So if you want to delete that, select this pivot table, click on design, and in grand totals, so these are the four options. So if you want to have just for rows, so on for rows, like it's written on for rows only, just rows will be there. So I'll click here, it will be there for rows. Now, if I want just for the columns, that means I want here and here. Then I'll click here again, click on design, grand totals, on for column only. Then it will show here. So this is how generally we keep it, right? And if we want for both, then click on here, on for rows and columns. And if we want neither of it, then click here, off for rows as well as columns. So this is how it will work as grand totals. And generally it is good for on for columns only. So we can see 16%, somewhere around 16% is the attrition. If we say here, out of 16%, highest is for sales representative, 39%. And second highest is laboratory technician. And here we can sort this. So if you see here, and I want to do descending order on the basis of sum of employment, employee count. And this is how you can sort this.
No, Atikant, if you can repeat it, because every time I struggle here to sort it out. So just want to see how did you do that?
I just select here. So if you just want to do it from A to Z, if you want to sort on the basis of rows, like the job roles here, so you will use this or this, ascending or descending. But if you want to sort this on the basis of values, so there are two things. First is rows, second is values, right? Like this, rows or values. So on the basis of rows, you will select sort A to Z or sort Z to A. But if you want to sort this on the basis of values, just click on more sort options. And this will sort on the basis of job role. But if you want to change it on the basis of employee count, click on employee count, it will change.
Okay.
Or this is the thing, if you want to do it manually, you can drag items to rearrange, but generally I don't suggest this, but you can do that. I mean, for example, if you want to manually do that, and if you want to say this should come on the top, you can just drag this.
Okay.
But I don't use it. It's not a nice way, because when there is a new data, it will not automatically change.
Correct.
This might be good for the report. If you have finalized everything and you are creating a report, you can manually drag and just add that in your presentation. That's the reason it is there. Otherwise, just click on ascending, click on sum of employee. If you want to do descending, click here, and then on sum of employee count, click on OK. If you click on more options, you can do this on the basis of values in selected column. For example, if you want to select on the basis of column B, you can do that. Otherwise, on the basis of grand total, you can do that. But generally, I would say this is best using ascending, descending on the basis of job role or the sum, and click OK. And you can see here, it is all sorted from this part. Any questions in this? So this is what we are doing. This is my pivot. So we always have data like this, right? So we have employee number, business travel, department, whatnot. We have this data. Now, if we have to create some insight out of it, we will first convert everything, select everything, click on insert, click on table. This is disabled because this is already a table. Once you click on table, it will be converted into table. Once this is converted into a table, then click on insert, click on pivot table, and then we want to work on new worksheet, click OK, and then work on your insights, whatever you want to. For example, you want to see gender-wise employees, employee count. So now we can see total employees are 1470. Out of 1470, females are 588, males are 882. We can create a donut chart, click on insert, click here. We can click like this or this. This is my pie chart. So this is showing me how many are there. I add the data labels as well. You can see here, I can change it. I can make it outside end. to make it more visible. And this is how it is. You can see here, gender-wise count. So this is how we can create the pivot table, pivot charts. Any questions? Once you're clear with this, we'll add more things.
No, nothing from me.
Great. So coming back to attrition, so I'll go back to base. I'll click one more attrition so that I can explain you one use case which I was working on. It was really interesting. So I'll explain you that as well. So I'll add the job role here, attrition in my column. So generally when we have multiple columns, I like to, search it over here so that it's easy. Otherwise you can just scroll it down and just select. You can drag from here like this, or you can just click on the box and it will be there, right? So I just want to have employee count. So I can have employee number here. And I can change it to count. So can someone tell me if this is correct or incorrect? What is the problem here? So currently I've taken the sum of employee number. So employee numbers are like this. So you can have a unique employee number, right? So you might be 1001, 734, whatever it is. So everyone has unique. So what do you think is not correct here?
Rather than sum, if count was taken, then it's more correct.
Yes, so currently it is a sum, right? We want total count as 1470. We know the total number of employees are 1470. Here it is showing me sum. I just need to convert it into count so that it counts rather than adding it up, right? Now this makes sense. So out of 1470, this is attrition, right? So 237 got attrition, and out of 237, highest is for laboratory technician, that is 62. Now, what I wanted to explain here is I want to add rate calculation first of all. So I'll just do right click. This we already did, but let me just show you once again on the basis of percentage of row total, right? So this is what it is. And then one more part was, yes. So now, as you guys was saying, if we want to add the slicer and timeline. So here, I want to add a slicer. And I want to say, I want to add a department. I want to add gender. I want to add marital status. I think that's good enough for explanation. Now, I want to add this on the left. So I'll do Control Shift plus, plus, plus. You can add like this. So you can drag it here. This will be like my filter. You can just drag it here, make it smaller. You can add it here, make it smaller, right? And I really like to avoid the grid lines. So if you go to view, you can disable the grid lines, right? To make it more of a dashboard thing. Now, if you select R&D, for example, so everything is filtered for R&D, right? If you disable again, so if you click here, clear filter, everything goes back. So this is my total. Total is 100% of like every job role is there. So let me just, yeah, that's fine. And now if I change it to sales, so in sales, we have manager, sales executive, sales representative. And if we want to filter further for female only, so I just click on female. This is all female. If I go for example, Meritt, if I click Meritt, it all changed, right? So you can see how it changes. And now, if you see, this sales one is disabled because for Meritt as well as female, there is no data in sales one department, right? So this is disabled. You can see this is in grayish color. Otherwise, everything else is in black color, right? I can change everything, it changes. So this is the purpose of filter. So this is my filter. I can just filter out for particular things. I can add, if I have a date column, I can add a date column, and then I can, filter out for a particular month, and then I can take a snapshot of it. right? And now there's one more part. If I go to insert and click on timeline, I think it won't work because we don't have a date column here. But let's see. We can't create a timeline for this float because it doesn't have a field formatted as a date. So if you go back here in base, there is no column where we have a date, employee number, attrition, and all those things. There is no date here. Let's say we add a date. Join date, let's say, and it is 12 December 2020. Let me add like this, 12 December 2023, right? So I have just randomly added just to show you. And if we go back to this one, and here you will say how this data will know that we have changed, right? So there is an option of refresh. So if I go to data, click on refresh all, it will refresh. But right now, let's not do it. I'll click on insert and click on timeline. It will show this again, right? But now what I'll do is go to data, refresh all, let the Excel know that we have added the date field, and go to insert and click on timeline. Now it is showing me joining date. If I click here, click OK. Now this will give me a timeline. Now, if you see here, so it is showing me from 2020 because if you go to this column, we started from 2020. If you see 2020 and 2023, so it will show me like that only. 2020 and last year is 2023, right? So if you change, you can have a particular area. For example, you want to see for 2021 February until November. So you can just select those months and see. There is nothing because in those months there is no data. We have to add December 2020. So once I add this, it should have the data. If I change it to year, oh, so I need to remove this filter, remove this filter, remove this filter. So now if you see here, everything is there once I remove. Any questions in this? For that is quite easy when we are working on Power BI. Easy because
Okay.
it is already defined there. So I think it is better to work on Power BI to create all those formulas and functions and work on 3 financial years. We have financial year 2021, 21-22, 22-23, 23-24, and have all the data in there.
Okay. So
So
do
I'll
we need
explain.
any license? Do we need any license for Power BI, or that's a open source?
No, it is open source. So if you are working on desktop like this, it is totally free, no charge for this.
Ah, great. Okay.
Yeah, but you need to have a Windows. So if you are working on MacBook, it won't work. It is not compatible with MacBook. Good chart.
Can you show the slicer insert? How you inserted that slicer?
Yeah.
I just
So
missed.
if I click randomly to any cell in Excel and click on insert, it should not work. If I click on slicer,
Okay.
it is
Okay.
showing me connection, like how do you want to connect. If I click on data model, I still don't have anything here, right? So whenever you have to add a slicer, select anything inside the pivot table. So if you
Okay.
select any cell inside pivot table, click on slicer, it will show you.
Okay.
And then you can add anything. For example, again, if you want to add a job role, or let's say education field is signed, and click OK. So we have a new
Okay.
filter here. And then I can filter on medical and everything changes like that.
Okay.
Right? Any other questions?
That can we can use that for a normal Excel sheet also, without pivot table. No,
Let's see.
I think no. For
So you're
table
saying
also.
here in this one?
No, normal table
Yeah, this
without
is the
pivot table.
normal
Yeah.
table,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes. Can you
So if I
filter this?
select here, click on insert, click on slicer. If you want to add a, let's say, department,
Okay.
Okay.
Working estimate.
And then if you want to select R&D, so select R&D and everything comes in R&D.
Okay.
Right? So it works both ways. But generally, it is not suggested that on raw data that you use these slices, because this is mostly for pivots. Because otherwise,
Okay.
here you can just do Control Shift L if there is no filter, and then apply like this and just select this. This is predominantly straightforward and easy to use,
Okay.
right? So this is fine. So pivot concept is predominantly fine for everyone. Now let's try to work on some analysis. If I go to my base here, so let's try to work on salary analysis. And if I want to add a new column, like I already added this joining date, right? But I want to add a new column, let's say monthly income per work experience. So I want to say we have two columns, right? We have monthly income as well as the number of years of experience that everyone has. So we can easily do the formulation, like for example, total monthly year. So if I go here, that is my monthly income divided by total working years. And this is my monthly income. And now if you want to change, so we have so many decimals, right? So many digits of decimal. So best way is just click on this comma style, and then it will be up to 2 decimals. But again, if you want to change the decimals, you can just drag it right for up to 1 or 0, or on the left hand side, make it more, whatever you feel like. Up to 2 is good enough. So we can keep like this. So this is my monthly income per work experience. Right now, if you want to work on this, I can again go to insert, click on pivot and click OK. And then I can say monthly income per workx, for example. And I will say here job role. And then I'll select again monthly income. Oh, so why it is not coming here? Because maybe we have to refresh it, or what was the name of the column? This is monthly income per workx. So it's not coming up. So let me just refresh if it is not coming up. Yeah. So once I refresh from here, you can see monthly income per workx came over here, drag towards the value, and this should be the sum instead of count. And you can see here. Now, the problem here is laboratory technician is giving me error. Why is that? So if I go to base, I will select laboratory technician. And now if you see here, there will be some error values somewhere. So you see there are 3 error values because we are saying monthly income divided by total working years. For these cases, the working years would be 0 because anything divided by 0 would be infinity, right? So this will give me error in Excel. So if I say working years, you can see these are 3 zeros, right? So how should we avoid this? So if I unfilter everything, clear filter. Now, if you see here, this is my formula. I'll add if error. So I'll just add this formula if error. So I'm saying if error, like if there is an error, then make it 0 instead of error and press enter. Everything changes. Now, if I see here, there is no error, right? And if I go back here, there is still error because I have not refreshed. If I refresh it here, everything comes into perfect picture, right? So this is important that whenever you feel there is a possibility of errors, then this is a very important formula if error. So the formula is if error, then there is a normal value what we wrote, normal value like whatever is the formula, then comma, and whatever you want if there is an error. I want 0 or 10 or 100, whatever. Any questions? Everyone understood this part?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So any metrics you would like me to work on in this particular data set? Anything which is quite important or something which you work on every day? Otherwise, I'll just go ahead with the other things in this part. All right. One more thing. So if we want to create age groups, so here we have a column with the name of age. We have the age of all the employees, right? It is starting from 18 until 60. So we have various employees with the diverse age, 18, starting from 18 until 60. So there are so many ages. Now I want to create 4 age groups, maybe below 20, then 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and 40 above, for example. How we can do that? We will use if formula. So for example, if I want to create separately like this to explain you better, if my age, so age is HR data. HR data is my table here. So I'll just use this tab and then square brackets and then search for age. When I wrote AG, I got the option of age. I'll tap again and then close the square bracket. So if this age is less than 21, then age group is 0 to 20, right? Else, now after comma, I'll write if this is true, then give me 0 to 20. Else, if I'll use again if HR data, then I'll use age column, bracket close. If this is less than 31, then give me 21 to 30. And it should be in double quotes, right? Comma. Else, if HR data is of this age is less than 41, then give me 31 to 40. Else, give me greater than 40. Bracket closed. And press enter. So now you can see here, my age group has been changed. So this is all for each and every one. So if I see, you will see there are 0 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and greater than 40. So we have created 4 different groups for each column, each row. So everyone understood the formula?
We can
Yes.
give the cell address also, no? Suppose H1, H2, if,
Come again?
which is easy. We can give the cell address also, no?
Yes.
Instead of,
So you're saying if we say if,
which is,
and then just go here
yes, yes, yes.
and search for this. If this is less than, let's say, 20, then make
K.
it 0
Yeah.
to.
No, how we do if K is K2 less than 20, 31, like that.
If K2, right?
Yes, yes.
But this is not correct. I mean,
Okay.
this
If
will
not,
work here, but this
if
is
there
not
is,
the right approach because this might change. For example,
okay.
currently
No.
we have this data set here, but someone shares or add few columns or rows, and the location of K2 changes to somewhere else.
Okay.
Then that will still focus on K2 and it will be inaccurate, right?
Okay.
And whenever we are working on data, it should be dynamic. Otherwise, what you are saying is correct. And
Now we
hopefully,
usually do like this.
yes. So it's not like it is not correct, but this is a better approach and it is more robust. If
Good.
you still have more data, it will never change. It will always be correct because we are referencing to age column here, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, what you're saying is totally correct. If we say if my K2 cell is less than 20, then make it 0 to, let's say, 20, else make it greater than 20. For example, let's say this. And yes, so this is giving me false. Oops. So this is correct, right? So this is what you are saying, right? So that's
Yes.
absolutely correct. And I can just drag this and this will give me correct, because currently it is K2. Now it changes to K3, K4, K5, K6. So it will always refer there. But what if this changes and I change from K2, let's say other column, and
Insert.
or this column itself, I change drag. I'm not sure how it's not changing.
Now,
If I
insert
drag
one.
this, so yeah, point is if I drag from K to some other column, it will still refer to K and that won't be age. But this might work with small data and you'd still be able to work on it. So no problem with that. But my suggestion is once you create this table, just refer to table name and then refer to column name. Simple nomenclature, and it will work everywhere.
Okay.
Very clear.
So I'll just break it out. Looks complicated, but it is very easy. So what I'm saying is if my age column, so where is my age column? It is in HR data table. So I'll just type in the table name HR data, press tab, it
Yeah.
will come here.
Can
So what I'm saying is if HR, so whenever I know the table name is HR data, I'll just type in couple of letters and then press tab. Simple now. Then I'll say I have to add a column name. So it will always be in square brackets. So add a square. If you know the column name, just write age, AG, and then we got this, press tab again, and then bracket closed. So now I'm saying if this age is less than, let's say 20, then, so after comma, it should be then in double quotes, write 0 to 90. Close the double quotes. Now I'll say after comma else part. If it is greater than 20, what it should give me? So it should give me, let's say, greater than 90. That's it. Bracket closed. And this is how you can get that. So the only difference is I'm referencing here to the column name. Here, I'm referencing, that's it, K2. Looks easy. K2 part, this looks very easy. But in a longer run, this will be more effective. Once you
I have
understand.
one question.
Yes, Divya.
Sorry, sir, I just interrupted. I have one query, like what are the difference, like if you, like currently you have using HR data and then you have selected the cell. Only after typing, only after choosing that HR data, you have like selected the cell. So if we do not like put the HR data and if we directly choose the cell, if bracket open, age, so what are the difference?
So so you're saying
Rather than writing HR data, if you simply select the cell. So what are the difference?
Select K.
To give the same result, no?
Yeah.
Or
so what it is showing is, see the difference. If HR data and it is showing me @age. So this is referencing to a particular cell. So it is saying in the column itself, refer to this particular cell, K2 cell. So this is not inaccurate, but this is better when you already know the table name and the column name. Just do it manually. Otherwise, let's see how it goes. Let's say if I add here instead of this. So again, you can see there is no difference. So I think if you just select on that particular cell, it will automatically give @. But if you remove this as well, it will work. That's a difference you wanted to ask, right, Divya?
no, sir. I just wanted to ask the difference in terms of like if then you have put inside the bracket HR data and then you mention the age, So instead of that, rather writing the HR data, if you have removed the HR data and only kept the age, then what would have been difference? That was my
Oh,
query.
so
Yeah.
you're saying
Yeah.
like this?
Yeah. No, my query is you have mentioned the HRD data in earlier, no? So if you have removed the HRD data and only you have mentioned like if age is the particular sale is less than 20. So what's the difference of keeping the HRD data and not mentioning the HRD data? That's my question.
Good point. The point is, if you just mention like this, Excel won't be able to understand where is the age column, right?
No. So that's not my query. So my query is, so before that cell, you have mentioned the HRD data, no? So
Mm-hmm.
before that cell, you have mentioned the HRD data.
This
So
one,
what's
yeah.
the difference of mentioning that HRD data? So without mentioning HRD data, if you had directly selected the cell or at the rate age, then also the cell
Yeah,
gets
yeah, yeah.
selected,
It's
right? So
totally
what's
fine.
the
There is no difference. So
yeah,
you're saying if I don't write manually like this, and I can just
yeah.
select this, and it is already showing HR data and then the column name. Because
Okay.
anyways, if you do it manually, there are three ways. So first way is the way I explained, just add manually HR and then it will automatically come a table name. This is one approach. Second approach is the one which I think Ramachandran explained, like using K2, like just referencing directly the cell instead of the table name or column name, this one, right? Third approach is I write if and I select the column cell name. So it will automatically come HR data and then at the rate age, right? In these three, all these three options methods are correct. But if I say this is the best approach, when I'm saying if I know the table name, if I know the column name, just manually write if, reference the table name, inside the table, which column, write that. Otherwise, if you feel this is easier because I have been doing this from the longer run, then just write the cell name, cell number, that is K2 or L2 or whatever, and then you will get that. But if the table gets changed or column name number changes, this values might change. Third is if I select a particular cell with the at the rate, that is also absolutely correct. So there is no challenge in that. But we have to understand we should stick with one method which you feel is easier, because let's not complicate things, because anyways the data won't be huge. It is not like we would be having millions of records. If we are working on millions of records, I would say this method won't work. K21, this is not working. But I assume in HR data there won't be millions of records and it won't be that tech savvy. Then I think if it is easy, like let's go with cells reference, and it is straightforward, as you are always doing. Like I think anyone who is working on Excel would be working on this concept. All good? I think it's somewhere there is some uh, things which are still not clear, Divya.
I know it's okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. All right. All right. So this part is done. This is important. So if you are working on creating new columns, if else concept is important. So I'll also, what I'll do is I'll share this Excel with you and just try to work on this. And maybe it is helpful, right? And now we will talk about creating drop downs. So let's say you have this data and you want to manually add a new column here. Let's say you want to add location. So you want to add employee location and you have this dim location table with you. So location has Gurugram, Delhi, Bengaluru. Any favorite location? Anyone for you? right? So we have this list. Now, this is my list and I can, create further. So what I'll do is, first of all, let me just convert this into table. And this has my headers. Click OK. And this is my location table, right? To make it easier. Now, what I want from the user is, so if you want to add location for him is Delhi, for this person is Gurgaon, right? So what the problem here is, if you're manually adding, so see, you can see the spellings are wrong. Somewhere you can write Gurugram, somewhere you can write like this, somewhere you can write Bombay, somewhere you can Mumbai. But if user has a list from where he has to select, it will be easier and very clean data, right? So that's what I want. So I'll select this cell, click on data, and click on data validation, and I will allow a list. So the source would be this one, or you can select complete, right? And click OK. So now you will see there is a small drop down icon. If you select here, so you can have all across here. So I can select Gurugram, I can select Delhi, I can select Mumbai. Now, if you select here and try to write Bombay, it won't work. This value doesn't match the data validation restrictions defined for this cell. That means if you want to try to add anything else which is not there in the list, it won't work. And this is quite useful because when you want to restrict the user for particular values, then this is quite useful. And here, if you go back to this, and this should start from cell 2, because otherwise it was giving me dim location as value as well, right? So now if we click OK and click here, all those states are there. Now if you want to add new record here, let's say new is Pune, and now we want to add more here. Pune is coming automatically. So it's not like you have to update somewhere. This is the beauty of creating this table. So once you select this, click on insert, click on table. So once you create the table, whenever you add a new row here, Excel automatically adds in that particular table. And that's why you can have those cities again and again. And now then easy, you can just copy this and paste it over here, and you can change wherever you want, whatever you feel like, and then it's all good. Any questions in this?
Yeah, Adhikant, I have a question here. Say, in case we want to sort this, right? How can we do that? Because it is easy to add in a table if we want to add any location, let's say, but we want to be sorted it in the ascending order. Okay. So how can we do that? So if you are selecting that drop down, just select the drop down, you will
So I think
see.
from here you can just sort it, no? Like from here it is sorted now.
Acha,
And now if you
okay.
select here, not here. So if you select here, so you can see this is all sorted.
Yeah, okay, got it.
So whatever you will have in this list, so if it is sorted, it will come as it is. So whatever you will show here, it will show there as it is. Right?
Got it. Got it.
And for example, if you don't want to show this to user, you can just right click, hide this. And this doesn't mean that it is deleted. You can hide this, no one can see. You can log this and just go there and just work on this, right? So it's not there. And Control Z, I mean, you can unhide that, and it's all there. So any questions for dropdown? This is very important if you're working on creating the impactful charts or dashboards. You want to create a dropdown, because when you're working on spreadsheets, you want to have user-defined input. So this is where input dropdowns come into the picture.
Batika, there is one query. suppose I created list here, right side. If I inserted one row, suppose 3 before between 3 and 4, then ये पूरा हिल जाता है. Any option, any solution for that?
So, I totally agree with you, but that's why we never create these things in the same sheet. So best way is create a new spreadsheet here, like for example, dimension, location, or say location list, and then you can refer to this particular list over there. So you've added there,
Good.
and then you can easily add in front between if you want to add.
You can go to
Yeah,
other sheet.
totally valid point. I agree with you. Like if we are having the same in the same sheet, it will always like if we add here, we are not having insert option because this is a table. But yeah, totally agreed. If you try to insert here, it will add a new blank row, and that's
Blank.
not what we want in the original sheet. So best is add these location list or anything else in a separate one, and then you can hide this. You can hide this, and user won't be able to see. Right?
Thanks.
Any other questions? And then we will go to other parts. All right. So anyone, if you have worked on Excel, XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP?
Yes.
Any preference if you like
Yes, sir.
XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP?
Only we look up, we have worked.
More preferable. VLOOKUP I prefer more.
VLOOKUP. All right. Now, if I want to so this is the lookup exercise. Let's say I want to have for each employee ID, I want the what do we have? Second. Now, in lookups, we want these three parts. So for employee ID, let's say 100, 120, 1000, 1200. Anyone who can volunteer and help me with the formula?
With the VLOOKUP?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Equal to we look up.
Yeah.
Then select 100.
Okay.
The sheet we can refer or the columns we can select
You want me to refer everything here?
or just the column,
Which column?
the attrition we are looking for, right?
Okay.
Comma 0,
0.
then bracket close,
That's it.
enter. Yeah. Okay, so I think we need to select the whole sheet.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I forgot column name, column number.
So what do you want here? Before 0?
Business travel. So what is the column
Do
number?
that. So we started here, business level. This is C column.
See the 3, then 3.
Okay. So we are starting from A2, then all, comma, 3, comma, 0.
So can you just go back? What is the employee ID column? I need to see that.
This is the employee ID column.
Okay, so
So,
commit first, I think.
sorry, what?
No, the employee, the column we are referring, that should come at first place.
Yes. Any other, anyone else wants to comment on this formula?
No,
When
you
we
have to plan.
choose
Yeah.
table, when we choose that table, we have to put the dollar sign because we will be dragging these formulas down the line. I
Yeah.
think that is the first.
I totally
The
agree,
first,
but let's try to get the answer for this cell. That's it. Let's
okay,
not worry about
okay.
anything else.
After we look up, we select that A2, then we'll go to that table, we'll refer, we'll select.
Yeah. Let's let me know what we should select.
So maybe you can type HR data there and then
Yeah.
is it showing? Yeah, they're showing. And then
So
we
your
need
table is
business.
selected. Now column index number.
Yeah, so you need to create an array. That's why employee number is on B. From B to wherever the column is, business level, I
So
guess.
attrition is here. Column A.
Okay, so we need attrition
Yeah.
or business level, I guess.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. But we need attrition as well. So let's go for business
So
travel.
then attrition has to be on the right because it will not go on the left.
Right.
Or maybe we use match formula, but that's the fact.
Right. So let me explain you where we are not correct here. I never use VLOOKUP. So the problem here is you all explained it correctly. So when we have to, for example, if we have to refer to employee number and we have to get the values of attrition, it is on the left, right? So we can't get these values. Either we have this column before attrition and then we can map, or we use index match with VLOOKUP. Why are we making complex? That's the point here. So the best part is, why not use XLOOKUP? So if we say XLOOKUP, and this is a lookup value, and lookup array is my employee ID, and then so I have selected the column itself. That's it, comma, and now I want business travel. Select this column, bracket closed. Easy.
Oh,
So XLOOKUP is so dynamic. Even for example, in attrition. So let's say XLOOKUP, I want to look up employee ID 100 for so I'll map this with employee number, and then attrition is on the left. I'll just select that and bracket closed. Easy, right? So we can do business travel using VLOOKUP also. Let's say VLOOKUP. We have to look up value 100, comma. Table array is, for example, I want to start from here, and we want to get the business travel. That's it, right? Let's go with these two columns, and it is on second, comma 0, and then I'm getting the travel underscore rel. So VLOOKUP is not bad. I'm not saying VLOOKUP is bad, but as you saw this problem. So if some of the columns where we want the values of is on the left hand side of the reference column, we won't be able to get those values. So either we drag these again on the right hand side of the column, then we can use VLOOKUP, or we can use XLOOKUP. Now let's try to create XLOOKUP that can work on all across the rows and columns. So I want this, and then lookup array is my. So even if I don't go there, let's see here. Delete everything. X lookup. I want to look up this value, and then lookup array would be HR data. And in HR data, I want to look up this in the employee number. So and say employee number, right? Comma. Now I want to get the business travel, right? So I'll say HR data again. And in HR data, I want to get the business travel. And bracket closed, travel value. So as you can see here, NA is there. Maybe we don't have employee ID as 1000. So if we select here 1000, we don't have any employee ID. That's why it's a NA. So here again, we can change that. For example, if there is error, then comma, give me no data, for example. Right, so I can just drag this again, and there is no data for that. Or you can mention anything else. But if we drag this towards right, you can see R&D for department. Attrition is not working here because it is giving me here as education field. We can make it further dynamic if we say that map this on the basis of column names, column headers. But here to be on a easier side, I can just select attrition here, and it's all done. And then I can just drag this. It's all working over there. So do you find XLOOKUP easier than VLOOKUP, or it's same? What's your viewpoint, and if you have understood this or not? Let me know.
XLOOKUP.
Yeah, XLOOKUP is more better.
Better.
Yeah. So I've never used the XLOOKUP, only used the VLOOKUP. So exactly as you've mentioned that we have to make sure that its column is in proper order, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But I've never. Yeah.
exactly. So XLOOKUP is a game changer for everyone. Like if we have to create these values, so easy. Even if you don't want to refer to HR data, as I explained, for example, I want to have performance gateway, right? So I just want to use XLOOKUP. So what is my lookup value? Employee ID is equal to 100, comma. What is my lookup array? So I'll just go here, go to performance column, performance rating column, just select the header here, right? Nothing else. Then, comma, sorry, first of all, lookup array. So lookup array is my employee ID, right? So just select here, then comma. It's so straightforward. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just add and everything will be there. How about others? Yugeshi, Devashri, Rahul, Nishant.
Can we search down also? HLOOKUP?
Can
Horizontal.
you
Can search down also horizontal?
Rahul, I'm so sorry. I'm not able to understand your
Can we
voice.
search down column wise? Now we are row wise.
Search row wise.
Suppose employee code is in columns 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
To search down.
So for that, we can use index match.
Okay. Not HLOOKUP is not there.
No. XLOOKUP we cannot use for that. I think HLOOKUP is there for that. We can use HLOOKUP, but I never use this. For that, I think it is a better way to use index match. So we can just match all those things. And let's try. I've not used XLOOKUP, but I have heard like someone using XLOOKUP. So let's see if we say employee ID is like this and name is, let's say, and for 100 I want to get value, right? XLOOKUP, I want to look up for this in this, and then return should be like this. This is what your question is?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not working like this.
Not working.
Yeah, so XLOOKUP is predominantly when we have to search
No,
column.
HLOOKUP is H for
Yeah,
hold.
so instead of XLOOKUP, maybe HLOOKUP is there, but I have not tried with that. No. Something else is there. It's better to use index match for that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So Not that we have worked on XLOOKUP. Any questions on XLOOKUP? This is important. When we are working on Excel spreadsheets, XLOOKUP is quite widely used. So if there are questions, please let me know. All good? All right. Now, let's touch base on somewhat of dynamic arrays. Anyone has worked on dynamic arrays?
No, sir.
Okay. So, let's say you are given a task of creating the department list, then job role list, then let's say, what are the options? Education, we can say. Now, one way is, how do you create a dynamic department list? So I want to have a list of all the departments that we have. So currently we have HR, R&D, sales, salesman. I want these 4 values here. What is the best way you will use? Anyone who can share your experience, how you would do?
Sorry, what we have to do here, that under the departments?
Under the department list, I want to have all the details, all the departments like sales, sales one, HR, R&D. I want these 4 values.
Okay,
Like this.
okay. Under heading all the details.
Like here, this is the way I want.
Okay.
That's it. So one way is like you can manually add the way I added, right? So what is the other way? Like, how do you do? Maybe just go to this data, just select all, copy, go to dynamic arrays, just paste it over here, and then select this, go to data, go to this, remove duplicates, select and OK. And this is how you can get the distinct values. This is also another option, right? So any other way, like how do you guys do? Anyone who can explain? Yogesh, Devashri, Rahul, Shant. So what is the best way is using the dynamic arrays. So I want a distinct list of all the departments. Even if after there is a new department in the system, it should automatically add here. So I'll use unique. So if you just type equal to UNI, QUE, unique, it will return all the unique values from the range. So I'll say unique and define the array. Array would be HR data. And then the column name is department and bracket closed and press enter. Once you enter, you will get the unique list automatically. You don't have to work on cleaning the data, removing the duplicates or anything. Now,
So
yeah, please tell.
in case if anything is getting added in that column, let's say if any new department is getting added, then it will be changed automatically, or we
Yes.
have to drag it down.
No, it will automatically add. For example, I say R&D1 is the new value added, right? So
Okay.
if I say here, it automatically added R&D1.
Okay, great. Okay.
It's so smooth. You don't have to refresh also because this is my dynamic array function, unique,
Okay.
right? Similarly, if you want to have the job role list, it's so straightforward. Just write unique and then array is my HR data, column is the job role, bracket closed. So easy. Unique, HR data, then I want to write education. Right? And as you saw, if you add a new value, it will automatically add here.
But
Any
it will work
questions?
only when this table is in the
Table format.
dynamic. Yeah. Okay.
So whenever you're working on data in Excel, it's the best practice that you convert that data into table. So if
Yeah.
even if you have name, place, animal thing. You guys have played this, right? So if we have these four columns and we have details of all these columns, if we have this data, click on insert, click on table. My table has headers. Click OK. This table will be created. This table name can be the logical name what you want to have. Currently random table. And whenever you are scribbling here, you will see all the options. So we created location table when we were working on list, right? So we are seeing that. Currently we created random table here. We have HR data, dummy table. So you will have all the list of all the tables created here, and it will be so
Yeah.
easy for you to access and see. So whenever you get the Excel from anyone, when you open, just see it here, like what kind of tables are there, what are the tables, and you can just reference there and go there. It will be so seamless.
Yeah. So Adhikar, sometime, if I talk about myself, so let's say if I have created a table and, there are some formula in there. So, but let's say if I have entered a new data, sometimes the formula is getting, moved to the new table, new row, wherever
Hmm.
I just put in the data, but sometimes it doesn't. So then it is creating a problem for me. I don't know why, but sometimes it happens. In the formula is getting updated automatically in the new row, but sometimes it doesn't.
See, if you have created a table, it should automatically work. If not, if you have existing use case like where you have faced issue, you can share your screen and show me. Maybe tomorrow you can check this and let me know, and I can just explain, because uh,
Yeah.
Excel
Okay.
can be, challenging sometimes. Many things cannot work sometimes. So if you can show
Yeah.
me where exactly you have faced the issue, I might be able to help you with that.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, so as I was saying, create a table, very important, and using the unique formula is equal to unique. You can list all the distinct values of that particular table or column.
Atikant, one thing I am trying to use this unique formula, but it's not happening. I mean, is equal to unique and selecting the entire array.
So if you search this, you're not able to get the unique option.
Yeah, no, that is not coming. In formula, it is not
Oh,
coming.
so which what do we say, Excel format, I mean version are you using?
How can I see that sheet here?
Which, check when this happens. Dynamic. So you need to have Excel 365 or Excel 21.
Excel 365.
So if you have Excel 2019 or previous versions, you won't be able to use dynamic arrays.
Okay, Excel 365 will after 2019, whichever is there, it will have that feature.
After 2019, everything will work. So for example, here, this is my Microsoft 365 for Agent at Access Analytic, and update is not required. So you can see this one. This is for 365. So if you have 365 and version is greater than 2021, like greater than or equal to 2021, then it will work. Can you show me your screen and like see, show me
Yeah,
like
yeah.
what exactly is your version? Maybe we can update and
Yes, yes.
everyone else also can see if they are able to get the unique option in like dynamic arrays. Everyone else is able to work on it.
So this is the
No,
Excel.
it's not in mine also, yeah. Unique is not there.
Yeah, it's for me also, it's not there.
Okay,
It's
so
not
if
there.
you scroll down and click on option,
Yeah.
sorry, just go back. Yeah, and scroll down again more.
This is
Click on more. Yeah, and account.
oh,
Yeah, so this
oh this
is
is 2019.
2019. Yeah. So if
Oh,
you make it
that's why.
2021 or greater than that, it will work.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. I'll stop sharing this.
Mostly in the organization, they have made more than 20, like at least more than 2019. So just check from the company as well. So it will be there. All right. So for this is Microsoft 365 and version greater than equal to 2021. So this is the mandatory for dynamic arrays to work. Right? Also, one more thing I would like to show you. So if you want to see top 5, for example, here I'll just create a new tab. I want to get top 5 salaries using dynamic arrays. So it is very important for us to understand how we can work on dynamic arrays going forward. So first of all is just try to update the Excel version and try to practice on it. There are so many other content on YouTube videos and all. You can just try whichever is good, like user friendly for you, and just try to work on it. And then maybe tomorrow, if you feel there is any doubt, you can ask me tomorrow also, because this is important concept, working on pivot tables, dynamic arrays, then if else, all those things. Because whenever we are working on Excel, creating the drop down list, for example, working on these formulas are important, right? So one more thing, if I have to get top 5 salaries using the dynamic array, so what I can do is, if I say equal to, so I'll just say large. Again, this is the function in dynamic array, so I won't be touch basing on more than this formula because no one else has that. So large of array is my HR data, and in this I want to go for monthly income, right? And I want to get 5, top 5, right? So k is equal to 5 and bracket close. So this is my fifth, so not top 5, sorry, fifth highest salary is 19,000, right? Oh, sorry, this is my sum of top 5 salaries. So if you go there, go back to the base and do the descending order and just sum the 5 topmost salaries, this should be the answer. And let's not go ahead in this because no one is having this, and we will talk more about Power Query. Anyone who knows where the Power Query is? Extra points for that person.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell me where? Like, if you can redirect me?
Yeah, in data source, get data from file. So let's say if we need to consolidate same
Yeah.
format file and we need to create the paper pivot.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
then from folder.
Yeah.
Then
absolutely.
you need to click on the from folder and then you can do that.
Correct. Perfect. Also, what we can do is we can click on base. We already have this table, right? So we'll select a particular cell in any cell in table, click on from table range, and then it will redirect to the Power Query editor, a magical tool. It is super amazing. I really love it. And whenever I have to work on cleaning part or transformation part, I mostly use this. And the best part is, again, in Power BI also, we still have this Power Query editor. So even if you're working on Excel or Power BI, Power Query editor will be there, right? So you just have to learn it once and it will be there in both.
Sorry, Atikant, I missed here. This best large, that feature is working, but what is that for and how can we use that?
Sorry, come again.
This the larger function.
Mm-hmm.
What is this for?
So if you want to get the top 5 salaries, so what I'm saying is, so if I go here, large, returns the kth largest value in the data set. All right, so sorry, this is not top 5. This is the 5th largest. So initially I was correct in this. So what here it is showing is, if I say large, it returns the kth largest value in the data set. For example, the 5th largest number. So if I say here large, array is my HR data, right? In this, I'm saying in the column monthly income, which is my 5th largest income, right?
Okay.
So this is 5th largest. I want to say what is my first largest. I'll just say 1 instead of 5 and just press enter. So 19,999 is my highest salary. So this is my highest salary, right? If I want to say 10th highest, it is equal
Okay.
to large and HR data and monthly income, bracket close, comma. Now I'll say k is equal to 10 and then bracket close.
Okay.
So this is my 10th highest. So
Okay.
this is the use of large formula. Otherwise, it's hard to work on it. How do we find the 15th highest salary in a particular data set?
And from this is the largest and the smallest is lowest is.
I have not worked on it, so I'm not sure if small works. Yeah. So similar to large, we have small. So if I say HR data and we'll say monthly income, and the smallest one is 1009.
Mhm.
This is my smallest or lowest salary.
So we also use the minimum and max. So what's the difference?
So
Okay, okay.
very
Min
good
max, that
point.
will only show minimum and max, but it will not show the ranking, right? We can't choose the ranking.
Correct. But absolutely, you are bang on. Like min max is a very common function that we use. So if we say min, this mostly works on the particular list of values. But when we work on large or small, these are working on arrays. Arrays is nothing but a list of rows and columns. It's like this matrix if you have worked on it before. But as you already told, min and max will give me just minimum or maximum, but it won't give me a particular ranking, right? So that's also a point. Yeah. You guys have worked on COUNTIF, SUMIF, all those formulas. Anyone who wants me to touch base on that, that's also important formula, COUNTIF, SUMIF. Otherwise, I'll continue with Power Query.
No, I'm good.
Great. So even if anyone wants to, I can work on COUNTIF. Otherwise, I'll continue Power Query. Great. So I'll go to data, click on, okay, so I have to go back to base, click on from table range. So this is a Power Query editor. I'll explain you the basic interface part first. So you can see here, this is my ribbon as we have in Excel. So we have home tab, transform tab, add column, view, right? So in home, you can see there is a refresh, preview, property, advanced editors. We don't have to worry about it much. Now, this part is my table. So this is the table that we have HR data, right? And right inside, we can change the name. We can say HR data, new, or whatever you want to figure out. The best part, this is my ETL tool. ETL tool is extract, transform, load. That means we can automate our processes. So you can say if you want to make some changes on this data and you want this data to change again and again, you can do it here. For example, a very perfect use case, I want to show it before we end today's day. That is a game changer. If you will see this, you will be amazed by, if you have multiple sheets. For example, you have a data from let's say January to March in one Excel. So as you can see here, this is my Jan to March data. Then I have a data from April to June. Then I have a different sheet from July to September. Then I have a different sheet from October to December. So I have a 4 separate sheets for a same data, right? So one option is, if I want to consolidate, what I will do. So I'll just open one sheet and I'll try to copy the data from another sheet and paste on below, right? And add as a one consolidated sheet. Or anyone who can tell me how you would like to consolidate this? Rahul, Nishant, Divya, Yogesh.
I would have done in the same way what you have told, copy paste from different
Yes.
different sheet.
Yes.
So,
And what if there are hundreds of files? It's impossible, right? Manually doing that,
Yes. Right.
right?
Shrikant, I'm using Power Query to consolidate all these files, but the thing, the challenge, sometimes the challenge that I face, so let's say if the formatting is same, but if there is any cell, then it is creating problem to get to consolidate those.
Right.
So that is
Absolutely. If you have to, so it depends on how the format is. If the format is totally haywire, it is totally different, then you won't be able to consolidate, right? You have to modify somewhere and then it will be easier. So I'll explain you how you can tweak that as well. First, let me explain you how to consolidate all these files. So the problem here is we have multiple files like this, and this. I want to have one consolidated file where I can have all the data. So I can show you how we can do that. Not in Power Query, so not in Power BI. Let's go Excel, go to data, click on get data, and click on Excel. From file, click on Excel. What was the location? Location is practice and trainings dataset. Yeah. So now I'll just go to practice and trainings in dataset. Now I cannot select all the files together. So first of all, let me select anything. So I selected this file. So you can see here, I can see there is one sheet, right? And this is what it is. This is the data in this particular sheet. So I can just transform it. And this is my data here, right? So this is my January to March. I can change the name of this. So I'll say Jan to March for now, right? So it changes here. Now I want to add more. So I can, why it's not showing here? Yeah, new sources here. So I'll just click on new source, click on Excel. I'll change from April to June, for example, and select the sheet again, click OK. So you will see there is a new sheet here in queries. I'll click on new source, Excel, and this time I'll say July to September and select the sheet, click OK, and click on file again and select the last file. Click on this one, click OK. All right. So this is Jan to March. Here, this is for April to June, right? This is July to August. This is, sorry, this is July to September. And this is my October to December, right? So now what we are saying is we have these 4 files now. I want to consolidate, but before consolidation, I want to clean it up. So if you see Jan to March, I can see the first row is null, right? So I don't want this. So what we can do is I can remove rows. I can remove top rows. I can say remove top rows and it will prompt how many rows you want to delete. I can say 1. I'll delete this, press OK. But this can be wrong. Why? Because if I go back here, so you can see these are the applied steps in the right hand side. So whatever you make the changes, you will get those steps. You can click on cross to cancel that step and then go back to the previous original step. Right here, if I say I want to delete the first one, so I say I remove this, remove top rows. I say number of rows is 1. But what if next time this row is not null? It is important for us, but then automatically it will delete the first row all the time, right? So instead, what I can say is remove rows. I can remove blank rows. So this is all blank, right? So whenever it, even if it is in the 10th row, 20th row, wherever it is, if it is blank, remove it, because we don't want that, right? And now after that, this my first row becomes the header. So what I'll say is use first row as headers. So now this looks cleaner, right? So if you see on the right hand side, first step is my source. So source is I am fetching this table and the item is sheet 1. And if I go to second one, this is how actually this is coming from the Excel. And then I said change type. I can remove this as well. This is like changing the data types of each column. Right now I say remove the blank rows. Then I'm saying promoting the headers and then change types. So change type means Power Query automatically identifies what is the data type of each column. For example, if I remove this, now you can see everything is ABC123. So it's not able to define. This is my date, right? So I can manually change it to date from here. This is also date. I can change it to date time. So actually this is my date time, right? And LGA is my text. So I can change it to ABC, or I can just go to transform and click on detect data type. Automatically the Power Query will do that for me instead of doing it manually, right? So this is how you can work on cleaning the data. I'll explain you more now. Let's
No,
go
where did you click to detect the data type?
over here.
Achha,
Click
this
on
one. Okay,
transform,
okay.
click on detect data type. But it's not
Okay.
always correct because, for example, if I do this, this is 123 correct, ABC is correct, this is correct. See, this one is not detected, so we have to manually change it to whole number, right? This is minutes, so it can be in decimals. So let's say decimal number, right? Reason is text, so I'll just change it to text. Column 8 is not there, so it's null. So there are two ways I can remove this. So I can just right click on remove column, and this is deleted, right? So now we have event ID until reason. So we have these
Yeah.
columns.
Adhikant, quick question. Can we fix the formatting in this table itself? Let's say, at times, especially when we receive any data from different people, that formatting is completely different, right? Some are using some format, and some are using like
Yes.
DDMMYY, then YYMMDDY.
Yes.
So how can we fix? Is it possible that we can fix it here to
Yes,
clean
we
it
can do
up?
that. Yeah. So
Okay.
for example, if you're saying, if you want to change the data type, for example, this is my start time. And if you right click here, 1 second. Yeah. If you right click here, you can just transform from here. For example, you want to extract a particular month, or you want to have that kind of cleaning part. You can transform, or you can just change the type as we shown here. Or if you feel there is a limitation here, then it's better to just change something in Excel and just save it. So there are two ways, or you can just show me. I can make the changes in there. I'll show you that. But before that, let me just consolidate for everyone, like how we can do that. So first of all, in this particular sheet, we are cleaning this. So it should show me all the columns neat and clean until reason. If I go to April to June, again, the same process we have to do. So what I'll do is click on transform and sorry, go to home, click on remove rows, remove blank rows. So everything is removed. This row should be my column headers. So use first row as headers. and this looks good. And these are all blanks, right? So I can just select this and remove columns. I'll show you why what I did was wrong. So for example, here, if you see, Power Query understood whenever there is a column 8, column 9, column 10, column 11, 12, remove them. But it won't see it because what I'm saying, I'm hard coding these column names in the system. Whenever it runs again and again, you won't be able to find these columns. So instead of doing that, better approach is to select what we want. So I want this column until this column, right? So I'll right click this, remove other columns. So if I click on remove other columns, you will see these are hard coded now. I can't see column 8, column 9, column 10. Otherwise, if you have done that previous step, then you will see the errors whenever you reload again and again, right? So this is a very important point where we are just selecting what we want instead of deleting what we don't want. There is a difference between the two, right? So this is done. Then now July to September, again, we will do this towards here, remove blank rows, and then use first row as headers. This is fine.
Okay, Adhika, sorry to interrupt. How you got this Power Query screen?
So
Data.
if you click on data here,
Okay.
and then go to from table range for this. Otherwise, I selected get data. So get data, and then you should have a Excel data or CSV, whatever, wherever it is, select that,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So July, September is done. And then October to December is done, right? Now I'll just try to consolidate this and I'll show you why it is not consolidating correctly, and then we will change that. So consolidation means we want all the data below it, right? So it is like appending. So we want to append the data on top of each other. So there is a property here. So you can see append queries here, right? On top of it. I want to create it as a new query. So I'll say I want to have 3 or more data. So I'll just add everything here. And then click OK. Okay, so this is added twice. Click OK. Now this is my new data. So I'll just select this. I'll say my cleaned data, for example. And this is year 2020, right? Now here, currently it's showing me approximately everything. So you can see I have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And something is off here. Because you can see some of the dates are coming like this, some are like this, because my data type was not defined. So if you see here in January, March, it is defined. This is my date, right? If I go to April, June, this is defined. If I go to July, September, this is defined. But if I go to October, December, this is not defined. So I have to select date, right? Now, if I go back, so this is now showing me some errors. So what is this error? So this is 13th of October, 2020. But this should be in particular month, this month. Anyone who can tell me the issue with this? It is very straightforward and very common issue when we are dealing with different international time zones and all.
So it might be the computation where date and time. So let's say, because I have seen such issues. So because we are working the US data, so when we
Yes.
are receiving the data, then their format is in DDYY, and then we are working here in DDMMY. So then
Yes,
it got
absolutely.
changed, and sometime it is producing it. That was my question, I think.
Yeah.
Late.
So this is what we will solve now. So absolutely bang on, whatever you said is absolutely a big problem. So for example, in India, we are working as DDMMYY. And for example, in US, it is, let's say, MM, then date. So let me just delete this. And currently it is showing me like this, right? So what I'll do is right click and, oh, sorry, in data types, we will use locale. If we are using locale and make it United States, if we change it to date in English, and then if you see, okay, 1 second, sorry. What just happened? Yeah, click on using locale. Yeah, now changing it to date. And let's say we have to search for India. And now you can see everything is showing me as correct.
Oh, wow.
Right, so the best part is click on using locale. As you're working in India, so select that. For example, you're working in Europe and they have different format. Then you can use that particular country. For example, currently I'm in Australia. I select Australia. India and Australia format, time date format is totally same. So even if I do Australia instead of India, it will work. See, so depending on the time zone, so it is easily able to convert the US time zone into Australia or India time zone by just one click. You don't have to do any coding or anything. Just click on using locale. And I'm saying locale as in what is your local time zone. Just select that. That's it. So select data type as date and the locale, whatever you are working on. And that's how it is. It's all straightforward. Now, if I go to clean data, everything is smooth. And in just few clicks, you're able to consolidate everything. Right. And now the best part is, if I go back to my data, for example, if I go to April to June, okay, so I have to close this. So I'll just close and load. So this will be a new Excel. And if I filter this, so if you see start date, what's happening here? We have the all kind of data. April, May, June. Oh, okay. So I think we didn't upload. Okay, yeah, this is on. Sorry, my bad. I was seeing the wrong one. So if you see here, you have all the data now. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So what we did was just go to Power Query, consolidate all those 4 or 5 or 10 files. And now the best part, because you will say that we have to do these things again and again. No, you can't. You don't have to. For example, if I change the original value field, this is my original data, right? And let's say I want to add a new field here. I'll add here. Sorry, this one. And I say, is it double R or single R? Merit learning. For example, we add this row here and Control S. Just remember this is in a 6th month, right? I'll close this. And here, you just need to refresh it. And if you see here, you will see Merit learning is here. So you don't have to go to Power Query again and again. So this is what automation is. So whenever there is a new data, it should automatically pop up in your existing data, the main final report that you have created. And this is so useful. Trust me, like a few years back, people used to copy paste, and there was a separate person in each company who was doing manual copy paste and adding and creating consolidated files. But now, when people get to know this thing, they are using Power Query, and it is so useful. But I really want everyone of your contribution now. This is very important point. Rahul, Nishant, Divya, Yogesh, everyone, please tell me. And Devashri, if you have understood, if you have not understood, Ramachandran, if there is any question, this is very important.
This Power Query is only used for consolidating the different files into or merging into one file. Is this the only function Power Query
No,
has?
no.
So this is one
Basically,
of
it is
the,
data cleansing.
Yeah,
sorry, someone was saying.
yeah. Yogesh, you were saying something.
Yeah. Sorry, Atikant, I interrupted you. So
Yeah,
basically, this is being used for data cleansing. So if data is not in proper thing, and you can do data cleansing and automation also.
okay. Data cleansing and automation. And
That
okay,
is not
so
my understanding, but Atikant can tell.
yeah. So when we say, yeah, we want to know, Atika, I'm just looking this, going through this Power Query for the first time. It's quite complicated,
Yeah,
little
yeah.
complex. So if you can share anything so that we can practice today, tomorrow, it's really good. We always struggle to
Hmm.
consolidate the data. We
I'll
were doing
share
in that.
this these four files,
Yes.
right? So try to add these four files in your Power Query and try to consolidate the way we did today. And then
Yeah.
I'm sure you will stuck somewhere. And then let us know tomorrow, and then we can go from there. But before that, let me explain you that you are saying that this is your first time Power Query.
Yes.
So Power Query is a ETL tool. We say ETL tool. ETL is extract, is transform, and is load. So what we are saying is we have a database, right? It can be Excel, it can be CSV, it can be any data source, right? So what I'm saying is you from this data source, I want to have a particular consolidated data. So what I'm saying is this is extract. So whenever I'm getting data from any source towards a particular tool, so this is my Power Query tool. So this is my Power Query tool. So I'm getting data from here to Power Query. This is extraction, right? So I'm extracting data from here to here. Transformation takes place inside the Power Query tool. Transformation can be you want to add columns, you want to modify existing columns, you want to clean your data, you want to trim your data, trim as in deleting records according to the condition, you want to merge data, you want to append data as we did now. So predominantly these are all aspects majorly that can be done in Power Query. So a transformation is a big part where we can modify, add the columns, we can clean the data, very important, right? In the end, we are loading. So once transformation is done, we will say now load it to the existing Excel or a new Excel or the new database, right? So this is the complete process: extract, transform, load. Now the best part is this is automation. Why automation? Automation is, it can be loosely explained, but automation is very important. Like as I explained, in this existing data, if I change anything, if I add new records, right? Now, this new added record, let's say record number 100. So initially there were 99 records, right? I added one more record, that is record number 100. Now this record 100 will go through all the steps that you applied in Power Query, and finally it will load with 100 records, total 100 records. So what it does is, you don't have to refresh it, you don't have to change the steps, you don't have to modify this again and again. So even after 100, there will be a record number 101. Automatically, it will go through all the steps, it will load, and it will give me 101 records. You don't have to do anything. For example, this loaded Excel, you share it with your colleagues and you change everything here, it will automatically refresh and be seen here. Perfect use case I'll show you. For example, there are 5 salesmen, right? Salesman 1, salesman 2, salesman 3, salesman 4, salesman 5, right? Everyone has a template, Excel template, where he has to add what he did the sales of, a number of amount, product wise or whatever, whatnot. Everything is he adds in a particular Excel. So that is kind of extraction. So in particular Excel file, he adds that, right? Everyone does that. Salesman 1, salesman 2, salesman 3, salesman 4, salesman 5. Everyone adds that. So now there is a master file that extracts data from this, and this. So this will be a consolidated file. So it can be, for example, regional sales manager or regional manager, whoever is the head or area sales manager, right? He has this master file. So he don't has to ask salesman 1, please give me your file. Salesman 2, give me your file. 3, give me your file. So whenever they add in their file, it will be automatically loaded in his master file. So that's the automation. And then he just need to open his master file and see whoever has added, it will be shown there. And same can be applied in HR department, but I'm not sure the use case of, maybe you might can like come across with those use cases, like you have some particular performance program or a recruitment program, and you have different files and you want to consolidate that in one place or something, you can do that as well. So is it clear now? Like, is it better now?
Yes, it's quite better, but still there are doubts. So when we so this will be from source data. That option is there. From there, I'll be importing the files, Excel or CSV, whatever there. So I'll just, and then we will put there. It will come automatically, start reflecting in that Power Query file,
Correct,
and we
correct.
can clean the data what you told from there,
Yes.
right? Now let's say I have a salary data with all the employee code of the employees. Now I want to put leave date also. Can I put, or it is always we have to keep the same templates or same data set? So in one, I have one sheet with salary data, another is with performance rating, another and third with the leave balance data or leave avail data. So can we consolidate all the three in one sheet? Because
The
then we,
format, if the format is same, you can. If the format is not same, you cannot.
oh, that's a format is the key. Basically, we have to
Yes.
ensure that same.
Yes.
No,
But
no, yes.
yeah, please go ahead.
But you told me that after that also we can upload the file and let's say the sales, 5 salesmen. So last month it is the salary, whatever the sales they have done. Now again in the this month again we have to upload that data in the query, and automatically the manager will receive everyone's updated data.
You don't have to upload again and again. You just need to add the data in the existing files, and automatically it will be refreshed.
Okay,
For
add means
example,
I have to import the data.
yes. For example, we imported these 4 files, right?
Yes.
If there is a new file, you have to import that again in the same file, same Power Query. Otherwise, you can add those data in this existing file, and automatically it will be refreshed.
Okay, so now let's say one is I have uploaded 5 kind of data set. One is
Hmm.
this sales data, another is leave data, another. So how can I, will there be any folder for sales data, separate folder, leave will be separate folder, because I have to upload there only, na, in that folder.
Yes,
How
you
it
can do
works?
that.
We can do
So let's say um this is my sales data.
yes.
Copy new folder. Right. So this is my
Yes.
sales data. Now I want to have, let's say, new HR data, for example. And now I have some files in here. Currently it is blank, but it will be there. Now I'll go to my Excel, click on data, and click on get data. So now from file, I'll click on from folder. Now I'll go to practice and training, go to my data set. Now I'll select sales data. Click on open. It will automatically add all the files, even if it is PPT, not just XLSX. All the file formats will be added here. So what I'll do is, if everything is cleaned already, so I'll just say combine and load or transform here. So this automatically combines everything. So you can see January, February, March until December, everything is combined. But this might be inaccurate because we didn't clean this as we
Yes.
did previously, right? So currently I'll just say okay.
So
So
we
it
have
will,
to keep all the data in the folder in the system, not in the Power Query data. No?
no. So whatever is there in Power Query, it is coming from somewhere, right?
Yes,
So
that source. We have to
yes,
update that source folder.
yes. So it's like this is my source and this will be my destination. Or you can add a new destination depending on your requirement. But this will be my source. You can add a new sheet like consolidated sheet here. Sorry, not folder. For example, I want to add a new Excel here. I'll say consolidated sales data. And whenever you want to add a new data here, uh, everything will be consolidated and added in consolidated sales data. So that's how you can work on. Right. So if I go back to Power Query, so now you can see my sales data is added here, right? So now you can see the source data is here. Everything is showing me all across, right? And you can see I can clean from here. I can delete here, remove columns. And if we see this start date, again, there will be the issue of the dates. There will be some errors. First of all, I'll just go here to remove the blank rows, then make it first row as headers, and then transform and click on detect data types. So see, sometimes it's not working here. So I'll just say, okay, so now here you will see if I select LGA, you will see there are 3 more LGAs here, right? Why? Because we have four Excels. Everyone has their headers, right? So that's why it is not the correct way like this. If we did individually, we cleaned everything and then consolidated like here using the merge here. If you click on here, click on, sorry, append, and then it will all come in the one single header. But here we consolidate initially and then everything is coming here. This is not the correct approach, but we can work around this as well. And then it is all there. But my suggestion, so Power Query itself is like, yeah, you can work on Power Query for 10 hours and still you're not able to understand many things. So let's go step by step. Many things are there. It's a very interesting topic, I would say. And my suggestion would be to go to a YouTube channel and just try to see end-to-end Power Query tutorial. It will be 1 hour or 2 hour with any of your favorite YouTuber, like the way you want to see. Just try to see, just try to absorb how it is done, what it is used for, and everything. And then you might understand that whatever we are discussing now, it will make more sense then. And then tomorrow we can understand more on this, because it is massive. Power Query is massive and it can be challenging, honestly.
Got it.
But I really
Thanks,
want to
Satyakant.
know
Yeah,
Vishal.
got some understanding we have got. So technically, unless we practice, and yes, it
Yes,
will take.
definitely. It is very important, like, to practice and see how it is used, what it can be used for. But trust me, if you are able to understand Power Query, it will be outstanding anywhere. Like, even if you try to switch jobs and go for any HR analyst jobs, and if you can explain that you know Power Query end to end properly, it will be a big bonus on your resume, because it is uh, almost everyone uses, because Excel is widely used all across. So if anyone is using Excel, Power Query is automatically there, right? So I won't say that learn Python, learn everything. That's something which limited people use, but Power Query is something which everyone uses. So try to get more hands on it. Why these are applied steps, how we can clean the data, very important. But I would like to know more from other people. Ramachandran, Divya, Rahul, Devashri. Devashri is quite quiet today, I guess.
No, no, it's not like that.
So please tell me if you have understood, if you have not understood a particular concept.
So I have never used this, but I'm looking forward to use this. Then after then only I can come across what exactly is happening here or not.
Yes. So my suggestion is, after this session, once you are free, once maybe after lunch or something, just hop on to the YouTube channel. It's a free channel.
Sure. Yeah.
Just try to go for Power Query end to end, like 1 hour class or 30 minutes also. Because when you're trying to watch more and more, you will get to know, okay, this can do this, this can do this. So it will be more easier for you. And then tomorrow we are working more on Power BI and Power Query. So it is important for us to understand Power Query more on that.